All right, so we'll move on to board member reports. I'm going to start this evening. We've had a lot of, I've seen a lot of discussion online about the idea that we're, as a school district, going to be receiving some federal funds that are stimulus money. I want to talk a little bit about that because some folks have raised the question, why are you running a levy when you're going to get potentially $1 million or more in stimulus money? So I want to talk about what we're allowed to use that money for, just as an overview. The first thing is that we have to spend at least 20% of that money on what they call amelioration of learning loss. That basically means we have to offer some types of programs that we don't currently run to help our students catch up from gaps in their learning that have been created because of the pandemic. So that's not going to help us balance our budget by offering additional programs. It's a good thing to do. It's very helpful, but it's not going to help us balance our budget. We can also spend money on personal protective equipment. We didn't need personal protective equipment prior to the pandemic. Certainly we needed cleaning supplies and standard things that we do to disinfect the building and keep it clean, but that's not what that money's for. The other option is we can spend it on facility upgrades. These are things like upgrading your ventilation system to filter out COVID particles. Again, not something we can use to balance our budget. Things to, as far as facility upgrades, the other suggestion is things to help with social distancing. That might mean plastic dividers between desks or those sort of things. Doesn't help us balance our budget. I know I keep saying it, but that's the point I'm trying to drive home. After school activities, that's another thing that we can offer to improve student success. Those are things we don't currently provide. Summer learning programs, we don't provide that now. So people have heard that we might get $1 million, we might get $2 million. We don't know what the number is yet, but whatever money we get has to be used for those things. We can't just say, we're going to put it into our general fund and that money will offset our deficit that we have in our 5-year forecast. And therefore we could delay the levy by a year or two. Well, we can't do that because this money has to be used for these specific areas. There's also been discussion that the governor has proposed to increase funding for schools. That's true, he has. That's a proposal. That's his wish list. That's not the final number. We won't know that number until probably July. And he has to get that through the Senate. He has to get it through the House of Representatives at the state level. So it doesn't work. It works very similarly to your federal government. When President Biden proposes something, he has to get the Senate and the House to approve it in order to have a budget. Just a couple other facts I wanted to point out. Our cost per pupil in this district is the lowest in Lake County as far as what we spend per pupil. Our tax rate for our citizens is the second lowest in Lake County. The only reason it's the second lowest is because Perry has the Perry Nuclear Power Plant, and they have a significant amount of revenue that they generate from that nuclear power plant. And that helps them not have to do things like most every other district in the state by running levies. In the last 15 years, we've cut 41 teachers and 41 other staff members employed by the district. So we've certainly done the work to tighten our belt over the years, but you can only tighten it so far. And I just wanted to present some of that information tonight because I don't think that folks get all of that information or understand it. You read something in the paper, you hear about it, that we're going to get $1 million. Well, on an estimated $30 million budget, $1 million is a lot of money if you or I got it, but it's not so much money when the school district gets it. But we will make good use of it, and we will follow the guidelines provided to us and make the very best use of those dollars we can to help our students. The last thing I wanted to say is that in the event we did get some more money, whether that be from the state or the federal government, this district basically runs on fumes. I mean, a normal governmental entity or a nonprofit is expected to have 30 to 90 days of cash in the bank to pay for bills because your funding fluctuates. Just like you at home probably get bills at different times and it's not always even. So we have to have money in the bank to pay for that. Mike can probably address this, but I think we have less than 1 day's cash on hand. Maybe it's 2 days, but it's very, very small. And I've often said this, that if our treasurer decided to retire today, Madison would have a very difficult time trying to recruit a treasurer who would be willing to come to a district that lives on such razor margins. And the reason we do is because we try to make the best use of the dollars we have and get those to our students so that they can succeed. So I've just seen a lot of things on social media, and I wanted to address some of those things from a board perspective. And I said it was the last thing, but it was the second last thing I'm going to say. There's only 5 people in this community that can put a levy on the ballot. It's not our superintendent. It's not our treasurer. It's not our teachers. There's 5 people that have a voice in saying yes or no. Those are your 5 elected school board members. All 5 of us live in Madison. So if there's going to be a tax increase, I'm paying it. Your various board members are going to see the same increase in their taxes that you would, depending on the size of your home, or the, Mike say that much better than your assessed value of your home. So I just think those were important things to point out. So I'll move on and see if there's any other board members who would like to give a report tonight.
Thank you, Sean. I think that you said a lot of what people needed to hear. I don't see a tremendous amount of people logged in tonight, so I'm hoping that many more will be watching this after the fact so that they can hear what you had to say, because it is very important. It's very important for people to understand there are restrictions regarding the COVID money that we're receiving, that we can only spend it in certain areas. We can't, like you said, use it to balance the budget. So I think that's very important. And I just hope that those of you that are watching, please share this with your friends so that people can understand a little bit better. I've heard a lot of people, or have read on social media, many people, and sadly, most people don't understand school financing. It's very difficult to understand, but most people don't ask questions. So when they're hollering mismanagement of funds, they really have no idea where we spend our money, what we spend it on, how much we spend. They've never looked at a treasurer's report. They've never met with our treasurer. We have a treasurer who loves numbers and loves to explain all of this to people. I mean, he really enjoys that. So he would be more than willing to answer any of those questions that any of the community members have. So please, the people that are watching this, share this information. And I encourage anyone who does think that there's mismanagement involved, please look into it. Don't blindly scream mismanagement. Look into it, see where our money goes, and then make an educated decision.
Yeah, well, thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Sean. You know, we are Madison. We're in this together. We want our community to thrive and succeed, and our schools to be strong. And so we want, with an attitude of civility and respect, we welcome your questions. We want a that kind of atmosphere, not an us against them at it. We're in this together. So come, participate, ask questions, know the facts, and I think we'll be stronger because of it.
As a new school board member, I rest assure everyone that, Mike, everyone on the board, Angela, David, everybody does their best to be fiscally responsible. And that, as Pastor Mike and everyone have said, that, at the end of the day, we all have skin in the game. And we got to work together to have strong schools and, support all the kids, no matter what they're going to do after high school, that we're supporting them effectively. And this will do it. So thank you.
And lastly, I'd like to say that what Sean and all my fellow board members have said, I 100% support. I have 4 generations that have gone through Madison schools. My dad, myself, my kids, my grandkids. I'm invested in this community, and I hope that you all are too. And we do our homework. We look at everything at every angle. Everyone said how Mike, our treasurer, looks at everything. It's absolutely the truth. We are transparent. We will answer any question you have, but this is for the good of the community and our kids. So we take it very seriously and we support it 100%. So I hope you all will too.
And I just wanted to mention one last thing. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to drag out the board member reports. But we all understand that times are difficult right now. We really do. None of us on the board, I can assure you, none of us are wealthy people. We will all be feeling the same financial impact that you feel. We believe strongly that it is what is necessary to keep our school district, to keep offering what we do offer to our kids. Lord knows I would love to offer them more because we've cut so much over the years. If you like what we offer to our kids, if you like that they get band and they get choir and they get shop class, which is, you know, Woods. Back in my day, it was called shop class. And you like the programs that we offer, it costs money. And in order to continue to offer those things to these kids and hopefully offer them more, you know, this is what we feel that we need to do. And we understand that things are difficult, but we also feel that we have to give the community the chance to have their voice heard and for them to decide, for you all to decide what you want your schools to look like.